Welcome, friends, to an epic journey into the heart of self-mastery. Imagine for a moment, the first rays of dawn painting the ancient Japanese landscape. A lone figure stands, a samurai, not just practicing for battle, but for life itself. This is Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary swordsman whose philosophy extends far beyond the clash of blades. To Musashi, the way you train, the way you think, the way you approach every single moment, that's what truly shapes your destiny. It's the thin line between victory and defeat, between mastering yourself and crumbling under pressure. But what if this profound idea isn't confined to the dojo? What if mastering yourself is the ultimate key to unlocking your full potential in every aspect of your life? Think about the daily battles we all face: self-doubt, endless distractions, crippling fear. What if these could be conquered with the same strategic brilliance Musashi brought to his legendary duels? Imagine approaching your own life with the same unwavering discipline, sharp strategy, and absolute control that defined his every fight. How dramatically different would our lives be? Miyamoto Musashi was more than just an undefeated warrior who fought over 60 duels. He was a profound philosopher of life. His greatest adversary wasn't another swordsman, it was himself. He dedicated his life to forging a philosophy rooted in discipline, adaptability, and relentless self-improvement. He firmly believed that the real enemy lies not in an external opponent, but in the weaknesses within us: hesitation, laziness, and fear. His teachings offer a timeless roadmap for mastering your mind, your emotions, and your actions. Today, we're going to dive deep into how his wisdom can help you master yourself, and by extension, master your life. At first glance, you might dismiss Musashi's philosophy as only relevant to ancient warriors or martial artists. After all, his world was one of samurai and sword duels. What could that possibly have to do with our fast-paced modern existence? But if you look closer, you'll see that his philosophy isn't about combat, it's about the very essence of living. His lessons are universal, powerfully applicable to business, creativity, personal growth, and developing unshakable mental toughness. He understood that the true battle isn't fought with weapons, it's fought within the mind. The challenges we grapple with today, procrastination, self-doubt, the fear of failure, are simply different manifestations of the same internal conflicts he faced on the battlefield. The timeless principles he lived by can empower anyone to overcome their personal obstacles and achieve excellence in any field. One of Musashi's most fundamental teachings is self-discipline. In a world overflowing with distractions, where instant gratification is just a click away, true discipline is a rare commodity. Yet, it remains the absolute foundation of all success. Musashi consciously rejected comfort, avoided luxuries, and committed himself entirely to his chosen path. He famously wrote, "Do nothing that is of no use." This profound statement means systematically eliminating everything that doesn't serve your purpose, whether it's time-wasting habits, toxic relationships, or mental clutter. In our hyper-connected world, this might translate to limiting social media, avoiding mindless entertainment, and relentlessly focusing on what truly moves you forward. Remember, if you don't discipline yourself, the world will inevitably distract you into mediocrity. Another critical lesson from Musashi is mental toughness. He considered fear and uncontrolled emotion to be the most significant barriers to success. He once advised, "You should accept death in your heart every day." This isn't about morbid obsession, it's about understanding that the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and the fear of discomfort are ultimately illusions. The moment you transcend the fear of failure, you become unstoppable. He approached every duel with a calm, laser-focused mind, knowing that any hesitation or doubt could spell his end. In the modern world, this same mindset can empower you to take decisive action, make bold decisions, and push through challenges without being paralyzed by fear. Whether you're launching a new project, making a difficult life choice, or standing up for what you believe in, the ability to act without hesitation is a hallmark of truly successful individuals. Musashi also emphasized the profound importance of mastery, not just of a skill, but of oneself. He believed that mastery was a lifelong journey, demanding constant learning, meticulous refinement, and deep self-awareness. His adage, "From one thing, know 10,000 things," perfectly encapsulates this idea. It means that when you genuinely master one discipline, be it martial arts, writing, entrepreneurship, or any craft, you gain insights that are universally applicable to every other area of life. The way you approach training, practice, and discipline in one domain mirrors how you navigate challenges across all domains. This is precisely why the most accomplished athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs all adhere to rigorous routines and embrace lifelong learning. They don't view mastery as a final destination, they see it as an unending, evolving process. One of Musashi's most enduring contributions to philosophy is The Book of Five Rings, Rin No Sho, penned in his later years. This isn't merely a treatise on sword fighting, it's a comprehensive manual for strategy, discipline, and life mastery. Even today, it's meticulously studied by business leaders, military strategists, and personal development experts worldwide. The book is structured into 5 sections, each representing a fundamental element: earth, the basics and foundations; water, adaptability and fluidity; fire, aggression and conflict; wind, understanding others; and void, intuition and flow state. These timeless principles are powerfully applicable to decision-making, leadership, creative pursuits, and personal growth. He believed that by truly understanding the way of strategy, you could achieve success in any endeavor. So, why does Musashi's philosophy continue to resonate so deeply today? Because it teaches us how to master our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions. It provides a blueprint for cultivating unwavering discipline, razor-sharp focus, and unbreakable resilience in a world teeming with distractions and uncertainties. He lived by the simple yet profound idea that the way is in training. Success isn't a matter of luck or innate talent. It's the direct result of the daily habits and mindset you cultivate over time. If you aspire to achieve anything truly great in life, you must commit yourself with the same level of dedication, discipline, and strategic foresight that defined Miyamoto Musashi. The genesis of a legend, Musashi's early life and formative duels. To truly appreciate Musashi's philosophy, we must first understand the world that forged him. Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584, during a tumultuous period in Japanese history known as the Sengoku Jidai, or the Warring States era. This was a time of relentless civil war, where samurai clans fought endlessly for dominance, and the way of the sword was not just a skill, but a brutal means of survival. From an early age, Musashi was thrust into this unforgiving world of conflict, where life and death were separated by the razor-sharp edge of a blade. Unlike most children of his era, who were often raised within noble samurai families under the tutelage of established dojos or martial arts schools, Musashi's upbringing was remarkably different. His father, Shinmen Munisai, was a formidable swordsman and an expert in combat, but Musashi did not grow up in a luxurious or privileged environment. He was raised in the rugged mountains of Japan, far removed from the refined teachings of the traditional samurai class. This early exposure to solitude, harsh realities, and self-reliance would profoundly shape his developing philosophy, instilling in him the deep values of discipline, adaptability, and relentless self-mastery. Musashi's first recorded duel occurred when he was shockingly young, just 13 years old. Most boys at this tender age were still in basic training, diligently learning the rudiments of sword fighting from experienced instructors. But Musashi, with minimal formal training, was already prepared to face a full-grown, battle-tested samurai. His opponent, Arima Kihei, was a skilled warrior from a well-respected school of combat, confident in his abilities and perhaps dismissive of the young challenger. Arima expected an easy victory. But Musashi possessed something far more dangerous than mere experience. He had absolute determination and an unshakable mindset. Armed with nothing more than a wooden sword, he attacked Arima with overwhelming ferocity, knocking him to the ground and tragically, beating him to death. This brutal encounter was a pivotal moment. It was then that Musashi truly grasped that a duel was not solely about skill, it was fundamentally about strategy, aggressive intent, and profound psychological control. The fight was swift, but it irrevocably altered the course of his life. After this first, defining duel, Musashi made a conscious choice to embrace the life of a Ronin, a masterless samurai. In an era when most warriors desperately sought the protection of powerful lords and the prestige of established schools, he defiantly rejected the comforts of servitude. He refused to be bound by the rigid rules and suffocating traditions of samurai culture. Instead, he dedicated himself to wandering across Japan, relentlessly seeking challenges and refining his own unique fighting style. He possessed no permanent home, no wealth, and no master, only his sword and his relentless will to improve. This audacious decision profoundly set him apart from other warriors of his time. While most samurai adhered strictly to tradition, Musashi believed that true mastery emerged from direct, unfiltered experience, not from theoretical learning. He fought duel after grueling duel, each time testing new strategies and sharpening his instincts, pushing the boundaries of his skill. One of the most defining and harrowing moments in his early life was his experience at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. This was one of the most brutal and largest battles in Japanese history, where over 160,000 samurai clashed in a colossal fight that would determine the future leadership of Japan. Musashi, still a young warrior, found himself fighting on the losing side. He witnessed firsthand the unimaginable horrors of large-scale warfare, not just the honorable, skillful duels he had trained for, but the sheer chaos, indiscriminate bloodshed, and terrifying unpredictability of mass combat. This visceral experience hardened him to his core. It powerfully reinforced his burgeoning belief that mere survival required far more than just brute strength. It demanded sophisticated strategy, extreme adaptability, and a mindset utterly free from hesitation or attachment. Unlike many warriors who sought glory in battle, he began to perceive combat as something far more profound, a rigorous test of mind over matter, where the ultimate victory was not over an external opponent, but over oneself. The legendary duel, Musashi vs. Kojiro. By the time he reached his late 20s, Musashi had already cultivated a legendary reputation as an undefeated swordsman. He had fought and triumphed in dozens of duels, each encounter further refining his techniques and sharpening his strategic mind. But his most renowned duel, the one that would forever cement his place in history, was against Sasaki Kojiro. Kojiro was not just any opponent. He was an elite warrior widely known for his unparalleled speed and deadly precision. He wielded a nodachi, an exceptionally long, razor-sharp sword almost as tall as a man, and had perfected a fearsome technique known as the swallow cut, an attack so incredibly fast and lethal that it was said no one could defend against it. For Musashi, this was not merely another duel, it was the ultimate, decisive test of his entire philosophy. The duel was set to occur on Ganryu Island in 1612. But Musashi, always thinking multiple steps ahead and far beyond the superficial, instinctively knew that winning wasn't just about physical skill. It was about meticulously controlling the entire battlefield, dictating the timing, and even masterfully manipulating the emotions of his opponent. Instead of arriving punctually, he deliberately showed up late, keeping Kojiro waiting and allowing frustration to slowly fester within him. While most samurai considered punctuality a sign of respect and honor, Musashi perceived it as a cunning opportunity for psychological warfare. By the time he finally arrived, rowing himself to the island on a small fishing boat, Kojiro was already emotionally charged, impatient, and burning with eagerness to attack. But Musashi's strategy didn't stop there. Instead of utilizing a traditional katana, he famously carved a wooden sword from a boat or during his journey to the island. This makeshift weapon was significantly longer than Kojiro's nodachi, granting Musashi a crucial reach advantage. He had painstakingly studied Kojiro's fighting style, understanding that his opponent relied heavily on blinding speed and surgical precision. But Musashi also knew that a single, well-placed first strike would decide the entire fight. The very moment Kojiro drew his formidable sword, Musashi struck with incredible speed and devastating force, landing a single, decisive blow to Kojiro's head. Before Kojiro could even react, he was already dead. This duel was far more than just a display of superior physical skill, it was a masterclass in strategic brilliance, unparalleled adaptability, and profound psychological warfare. Musashi understood something that many warriors failed to grasp: battles are won in the mind long before they are won on the battlefield. While Kojiro relied solely on his legendary technique, Musashi brilliantly employed timing, misdirection, and meticulous preparation to control the fight even before it physically began. He didn't just defeat Kojiro physically, he defeated him mentally, long before the first strike was ever thrown. The duel at Ganryu Island was not merely the peak of Musashi's swordsmanship, it was a profound turning point in his life. After this iconic fight, he gradually began to step away from dueling, realizing that true mastery was not about proving superiority over others, but about achieving complete self-control and understanding the deeper truths of existence. He shifted his focus towards philosophy, art, and writing, meticulously distilling his life's hard-won lessons into the seminal Book of Five Rings. Instead of continuing to seek out opponents to defeat, he sought to master himself, believing that the greatest battles were not fought with swords, but within the mind. Musashi's duel with Kojiro teaches us one of the most invaluable lessons of all: the mind is the most powerful weapon you possess in life. Brute force will only get you so far. Success isn't about being the strongest, it's about being the smartest, the most adaptable, and the most thoroughly prepared. Whether in business, relationships, or personal development, the ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast your challenges is precisely what leads to ultimate victory. And just like Musashi, those who truly master themselves will discover that they no longer need to prove anything to anyone, because they have already won the most important battle of all. The Dokkodo, the way of walking alone. In the final years of his extraordinary life, Miyamoto Musashi withdrew from society and lived in deep solitude. He had already unequivocally proven himself as a warrior, a strategist, and a philosopher. But as he aged, his focus profoundly shifted towards something deeper, a way of life that transcended battle and competition. Shortly before his death in 1645, he meticulously penned a document titled, The Dokkodo, which translates to, The Way of Walking Alone. This was a succinct yet powerful list of 21 principles that encapsulated his ultimate philosophy on life, self-mastery, and profound detachment from worldly distractions. Unlike the Book of Five Rings, which was primarily written for warriors and strategists, the Dokkodo was deeply personal. It wasn't about winning fights. It was about how to live with unwavering discipline, profound purpose, and true freedom from attachment. Discipline and detachment from desire. One of the central themes of the Dokkodo is unwavering discipline and profound detachment. Musashi believed that desires, whether for wealth, pleasure, or approval, were the greatest enemies of self-mastery. He understood that if your happiness is contingent upon external things, you are fundamentally not in control of your own life. His very first principle states, accept everything just the way it is. This doesn't imply passive resignation or giving up. Rather, it means understanding that life is inherently unpredictable, and resisting reality only leads to immense suffering. Many people squander their energy complaining about things they cannot change. But Musashi teaches us that real strength emanates from accepting life precisely as it unfolds and making the absolute best of it. Instead of being frustrated by circumstances, we should adapt, learn, and resolutely move forward without being emotionally disturbed. Another powerful lesson from the Dokkodo is self-reliance. Musashi had spent the majority of his life as a Ronin, a masterless samurai, traveling alone and relying solely on his own skills and wisdom. He believed that profound independence was the absolute key to personal freedom. In today's interconnected world, this translates to not depending on others for your happiness, your security, or your fundamental sense of self-worth. Many people feel lost without validation from others, whether it's social media likes, approval from friends and family, or external success. But Musashi teaches that true confidence originates from within. If you rely too heavily on external things, be it money, status, or relationships, you become profoundly vulnerable to disappointment and external control. This concept of detachment extends further to comfort and material possessions. One of the principles in the Dokkodo boldly states, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Musashi instinctively understood that perpetually chasing comfort leads to profound weakness. Today, we live in a world of instant gratification, endless entertainment, readily available fast food, and easy pleasures are constantly at our fingertips. But when you ceaselessly seek comfort, you gradually lose the vital ability to handle difficulty and to effectively discipline yourself. He believed that the authentic path to mastery inherently requires sacrifice, consciously choosing what is difficult over what is easy. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy life, but rather that you should never permit temporary pleasures to control you. If you genuinely aspire to master yourself, you must learn to delay gratification, courageously embrace challenges, and maintain an unwavering focus on your long-term goals. One of the most striking principles in the Dokkodo states, do not be saddened by separation. This powerfully reflects his belief in profound emotional discipline. He understood that everything in life is ultimately temporary: people, relationships, successes, and failures, all come and go. Most people suffer immensely because they become overly attached to things that are fundamentally beyond their control. He teaches that if you desire to be truly free, you must learn to let go of attachment. This doesn't mean you shouldn't love or care for others, but that you should not cling to things out of fear or insecurity. In modern life, this can mean gracefully letting go of toxic relationships, moving on from past failures, and not allowing external events to dictate your inner peace. Another key aspect of the Dokkodo is simplicity and minimalism. Musashi believed that excess was a profound distraction. He lived with few possessions, actively avoided luxury, and focused relentlessly only on what was absolutely necessary. One of his principles states, "Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need." In today's world, we are inundated by materialism. People constantly chase the newest gadgets, cars, and designer clothes, mistakenly believing that these things will bring lasting happiness. But he teaches that possessions should serve a purpose, not define who you are. The more you own, the more you are subtly controlled by what you own. True freedom emanates from owning less and focusing intensely on what truly matters. The final and perhaps most important theme in the Dokkodo is living with profound purpose. Musashi wrote, "Do not act following customary beliefs." This means don't merely follow what society expects of you. Think for yourself, critically, and courageously carve your own unique path. Many people passively go through life doing what they are told, following the traditional route of school, job, marriage, without ever questioning if it truly aligns with their deepest purpose. He teaches that real mastery comes from intimately knowing yourself, definitively defining your own unique path, and committing fully and unequivocally to it. This requires immense courage, profound independence, and a genuine willingness to stand alone if necessary. So, how can we apply Musashi's Dokkodo to modern life? The very first step is detaching from distractions and superficial validation. In today's world, attention is the most valuable currency, and companies constantly battle for your focus through social media, relentless advertisements, and endless entertainment. If you genuinely desire to master yourself, you must learn to vigilantly guard your attention and focus intensely on what truly matters. This means limiting social media, actively avoiding mindless distractions, and dedicating consistent time to personal growth. Instead of scrolling endlessly on your phone, use that time to read, to train your body and mind, or to develop a valuable skill. He would emphatically say, "Do nothing that is of no use." If something isn't actively helping you grow, it's only slowing you down. Another powerful way to apply the Dokkodo is to embrace discomfort. Instead of perpetually seeking constant pleasure and entertainment, courageously challenge yourself daily. Take cold showers, wake up early, train your body and mind, and consistently push beyond your comfort zone. He believed that discipline is meticulously built through consistent hardship. The more you expose yourself to difficulty, the stronger you undeniably become. Comfort breeds weakness, struggle forges strength. Self-reliance is yet another crucial lesson. This means taking full, unequivocal responsibility for your life, your failures, your successes, and your mindset. Many people habitually blame others for their circumstances, but Musashi would argue that the only person truly responsible for your path is you. Stop waiting for others to save you, to validate you, or to grant you permission. If you genuinely desire something, train for it, work for it, and claim it yourself. He didn't wait for a master to teach him, he learned through direct, raw experience and relentless observation. Let's revisit the Book of Five Rings with a deeper, more practical lens for our modern lives. This wasn't merely a tactical guide for combat, it was a blueprint for strategic thinking and decisive action in any domain. The ground book, The Unshakable Foundations. As we discussed, this book emphasizes fundamentals. Think of it like this: if you want to build a towering skyscraper, you need an incredibly strong foundation. In modern terms, this applies to everything. Want to be a great programmer? Master the basics of coding logic, data structures, and algorithms before jumping into advanced frameworks. Want to build a successful business? Understand basic economics, customer service, and product market fit before chasing venture capital. Many people get caught in the trap of shiny object syndrome, constantly looking for the next big hack or complex strategy. Musashi would tell you to go back to basics. Are you consistently doing the core activities that produce results? Are you truly excellent at them? For writers, it's consistent writing practice and understanding grammar. For athletes, it's drills and proper form. For anyone aiming for success, it's about mastering your daily routine, understanding your core values, and building strong habits. This is about discipline, consistency, and a humble dedication to the basics. No shortcuts, just solid, foundational work. The Water Book, Flowing with Adaptability. Water is formless, it adapts to any vessel, flowing effortlessly around any obstacle. This principle is paramount in today's rapidly changing world. Industries are disrupted overnight, technologies become obsolete in months, and global events constantly reshape our lives. Those who resist change become stagnant. Musashi's lesson here is about mental flexibility. Don't be rigid in your thinking or your plans. If your strategy isn't working, be like water, adapt, pivot, find another way. In business, this means being open to changing your product, your market, or even your entire business model if the data suggests it. In personal relationships, it means listening, understanding different perspectives, and being willing to compromise. In your career, it means continuously learning new skills and being prepared to shift roles or industries. The Water Book is a call to develop a growth mindset, where every setback is an opportunity to learn, and every challenge is an invitation to innovate. It's about being resilient, not breaking under pressure, but flowing around it. The Fire Book, Navigating Conflict and Embracing Intensity. Fire represents aggression, intensity, and the crucible of conflict. In Musashi's world, this meant the heat of battle. In our world, it translates to overcoming adversity, navigating challenging situations, and pushing through intense periods of effort. We all face fires, difficult projects, intense negotiations, personal crises, or periods of high stress. Most people instinctively recoil from these moments, seeking comfort and ease. But Musashi teaches that these fires are where true strength is forged. This isn't about being aggressive for the sake of it, but about having the inner fire, the intensity, and the strategic aggression to push through obstacles. It's about developing resilience under pressure. When you face a tough challenge, instead of shrinking, embrace it. See it as an opportunity to test your limits, to learn, and to grow stronger. This principle encourages you to engage with conflict constructively, to not shy away from necessary confrontation, and to approach challenges with focused intensity rather than passive avoidance. The Wind Book, Understanding Your Opponent and Environment. The Wind Book focuses on understanding others, specifically, your opponent. Musashi would spend time observing and analyzing other schools of swordsmanship to understand their strengths and weaknesses. He wasn't just focused on his own technique, he understood the broader ecosystem of combat. In modern life, this is about understanding your competition, your market, your team, your customers, and even your friends and family. It's about empathy, deep observation, and strategic awareness. In business, this means conducting thorough market research, understanding competitor strategies, and knowing your customers' needs better than they do. In leadership, it means understanding the motivations and perspectives of your team members. In relationships, it's about truly listening and empathizing with others. The Wind Book teaches that knowledge of others, combined with self-knowledge, provides an immense strategic advantage. Don't be so consumed by your own world that you fail to understand the forces and people around you. The Void Book, The State of No Mind and Intuition. The Void Book represents the pinnacle of mastery, the state of no mind, mushin. This isn't about being thoughtless, but about acting intuitively, without hesitation or conscious deliberation. It's the flow state, where action and thought become one. In martial arts, this is when the master reacts instantly, perfectly, without planning. In life, this is when you are so deeply skilled and focused that you perform at your absolute best, effortlessly. Think of a virtuoso musician playing complex pieces without reading notes, or a seasoned entrepreneur making quick, accurate decisions based on years of experience. This state is achieved not by trying harder, but by letting go of overthinking and trusting your deep training and intuition. It requires immense practice and a calm, clear mind. To cultivate this, practice mindfulness and meditation, quiet the internal noise, and learn to trust your gut feelings, those insights that emerge from deep subconscious processing. It's about being present, fully engaged, and acting from a place of deep knowing rather than anxious deliberation. Miyamoto Musashi, a lifestyle, not just a philosophy. Musashi's life and his teachings are not just a historical curiosity, they represent a radical call to action for how we live today. His emphasis on discipline and daily habits is more relevant than ever. In an age saturated with distractions, the ability to focus, to consistently engage in productive work, and to build strong daily routines is the superpower of the 21st century. He didn't rely on bursts of motivation. He built unshakable habits. This is why morning routines, deliberate practice, and consistent self-improvement are hallmarks of high performers. Musashi taught us that your life is largely a reflection of your daily habits. What you do repeatedly, day in and day out, ultimately determines who you become. His lessons on mental toughness and overcoming fear offer a blueprint for navigating the anxieties of modern life. We may not face duels to the death, but we face daily fears, fear of failure in our careers, fear of rejection in relationships, fear of judgment on social media, fear of stepping out of our comfort zones. Musashi understood that fear is often a mental construct. By confronting discomfort voluntarily, by reframing challenges as opportunities, and by training your mind to remain calm under pressure, you disarm fear of its power. He taught that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. This mindset allows you to take calculated risks, pursue ambitious goals, and stand firm in the face of adversity. The art of detachment is perhaps Musashi's most profound and challenging lesson for modern society. We live in a world that encourages deep attachment, to possessions, to validation, to outcomes, to fleeting pleasures. This constant seeking of external things can make us fragile, prone to emotional swings and disappointment. Musashi's Dokkodo encourages a radical independence. It's not about being cold or uncaring, but about building an inner fortress where your happiness and self-worth are not dependent on external circumstances or the opinions of others. It's about letting go of what you cannot control, accepting reality as it is, and focusing your energy solely on what you can influence, your own actions, your own mindset, and your own choices. This practice of emotional discipline, cultivated through mindfulness and self-awareness, grants unparalleled inner peace and stability. Practical strategies for applying Musashi's wisdom today. Now, let's break down some actionable steps you can take to integrate Musashi's timeless wisdom into your everyday life, making it a living philosophy, not just an abstract concept. 1. Audit your usefulness. Do nothing that is of no use. Time audit. For 1 week, meticulously track how you spend every hour. Where is your time going? Identify activities that are not serving your long-term goals or bringing you genuine growth. Distraction detox. Schedule specific, no distraction, blocks in your day for deep work or focused learning. Turn off notifications, put your phone away, and create an environment conducive to concentration. Declutter your life. Apply minimalism not just to physical possessions, but to your digital life. Unfollow accounts, unsubscribe from emails, and your social life. Limit time with draining relationships. Say no. Learn to politely decline commitments that don't align with your purpose or drain your energy without meaningful return. Embrace the fundamentals, the ground book in action. Identify your core skills. For your chosen field or area of growth, what are the absolute foundational skills? Are you consistently practicing them? Deliberate practice. Don't just do something, actively engage in deliberate practice. This means focusing on specific areas for improvement, getting feedback, and repeating until mastery. Small wins, consistent action. Instead of aiming for massive leaps, focus on small, consistent daily improvements. Compound interest applies to skills and habits too. A little bit every day adds up to massive growth over time. Revisit the basics, periodically return to the fundamentals. Even masters refine their basic techniques. This prevents complacency and ensures your foundation remains strong. 3. Cultivate adaptability. The Water Book in action. Develop a growth mindset, actively seek feedback, learn from mistakes, and view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than fixed limitations. Stay curious, read widely, explore new ideas, and expose yourself to different perspectives. The more you learn, the more flexible your mind becomes. Scenario planning. For important projects or life decisions, consider multiple outcomes and prepare flexible responses. Don't be wedded to a single plan. Practice problem solving, engage in puzzles, strategic games, or real-world problem solving to train your mind to think creatively and adapt to changing circumstances. 4. Forge resilience. The Fire Book in action. Voluntary discomfort. Introduce small, manageable discomforts into your daily routine. This could be cold showers, intermittent fasting, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or exercising when you don't feel like it. These build mental fortitude. Reframing failure: when you fail, don't dwell on the setback. Analyze what went wrong, extract the lessons, and view it as part of the learning process toward success. Stress inoculation. Gradually expose yourself to increasing levels of pressure or stressful situations, in a safe way, to build your capacity to handle them calmly. Mindset under pressure: practice calming techniques like deep breathing when facing stress. Remind yourself that challenges are opportunities to prove your strength. 5. Understand your environment. The Wind Book in Action. Active listening. In conversations, truly listen to understand, not just to reply. Pay attention to body language and unspoken cues. Perspective taking: before reacting, try to see a situation from another person's point of view. This builds empathy and strategic insight. Study your field, understand your industry, your market, your competitors, and your audience in depth. Don't just know your own work, understand the broader landscape. Network strategically, connect with people from diverse backgrounds and fields. Learn from their experiences and perspectives. 6. Cultivate flow and intuition. The Void Book in Action. Mindfulness meditation. Practice daily meditation to quiet the mind, increase presence, and develop greater self-awareness. Deep work immersion. When engaged in a task, strive for complete immersion. Eliminate distractions and allow yourself to become fully absorbed in the work. Trust your gut, with caveats. After extensive training and experience, learn to trust your intuitive insights. This isn't blind faith, but a culmination of subconscious knowledge. Practice no-mind activities. Engage in activities that require focus but don't involve conscious thought, like sports, playing a musical instrument, or creative expression, to experience moments of effortless action. The unending path of mastery. Miyamoto Musashi's life and wisdom offer us a powerful testament to the idea that self-mastery is not a destination, but a continuous journey. He himself, even after unparalleled success in combat, chose a path of continuous refinement, shifting his focus from external battles to the ultimate internal conquest. This is perhaps his greatest legacy. The understanding that true growth is lifelong, demanding constant vigilance, humble learning, and an unwavering commitment to improvement. He didn't wait for inspiration, he built discipline. He didn't fear challenges, he embraced them as opportunities to grow. He didn't seek external validation, he forged inner strength and self-reliance. In a world that constantly bombards us with instant gratification and superficial metrics of success, Musashi's philosophy reminds us that the real work happens quietly, consistently, day by day, within ourselves. The battles we face today, procrastination, self-doubt, the fear of change, the pull of distraction, are simply modern manifestations of the same human weaknesses Musashi spent his life conquering. His principles of discipline, adaptability, mental toughness, strategic thinking, and detachment remain as potent today as they were centuries ago. Think about it. What is the most important battle you are facing right now? Is it a career challenge? A personal goal? An emotional struggle? Whatever it is, Musashi's wisdom offers a clear path forward. It's about training your mind, just as he trained his body. It's about building habits that serve your highest purpose. It's about being present, adaptable, and resilient. As we conclude this deep dive into Miyamoto Musashi's incredible life and profound philosophy, remember his most fundamental teaching: the way is in training. This isn't just about physical training, it's about training your mind, your emotions, your habits, every single day. Success isn't handed to you, it's earned through consistent, disciplined effort. It's a testament to the power of showing up, doing the work, and committing to your own growth, even when progress feels slow or invisible. Miyamoto Musashi's journey from a young, raw fighter to an undefeated warrior, a strategic genius, and a profound philosopher is a testament to the human capacity for endless self-improvement. He proved that the ultimate victory isn't over an opponent, but over the weaknesses within oneself. He left us not just with a martial arts manual, but with a universal guide to living a life of purpose, power, and profound freedom. So, as you go forward, ask yourself, what are you training for today? What small, consistent action can you take right now to move closer to mastering yourself and, by extension, mastering your life? The path is clear. The way is in training. Are you ready to walk it?